What's going on, guys? We are back and we are reacting to UFC 308. Absolutely crazy night of fights in the desert. Abu Dhabi coming through. As usual, ILLYA Topuria knocking out Max Bless Holloway. Who would have saw that coming? And then we have Chimaev off the layoff, submitting Robert the Reaper Whittaker in round one. Absolutely breathtaking performance from Hamzat. We might have a new number one contender in the middleweight division. But hey, man, we'll start at the top with the first fight of the night. We have Renat Fakhretdinov taking on the juice monkey himself, Carlos Leal. Man, this dude has steroid injection spots all over his back, came out sauced out of his mind. He could not be taken down. It looked like he was 10 times stronger than someone in Renat Fakhretdinov, who's shown that he's one of the strongest welterweights in the division. But for somehow, some way, Carlos Leal was pulling up with that heavyweight strength in a welterweight body. Is he on steroids? I don't know. Yes. But hey, man, that's just my speculations. I thought Carlos Leal did enough to win the fight. I'm not mad that they robbed him. The dude's clearly juiced out of his mind, but he definitely did. I thought Carlos Leal won that fight 2-1. Renat won the first round. I thought Carlos Leal won the next three. Give me your thoughts on that. Eh?
So we're not going to mention how I went 10-2 in this card, huh? My predictions were on point, on the
Hey,
money.
man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm just hyped. I gotta mention that before I begin. We
Yeah,
got we
man,
got to shout that out.
we both picked this first fight right. We both went with Renat, just to put that out there.
Yeah, man. We had the fight on money, but Carlos Leal, man, dude came in, roided up, man, back acne up, crazy. Dude was moving like a freaking I don't even like an ox. Unbelievable. I'm surprised we're not won this fight because Leal was throwing bombs at him and he was landing too. But Renat Fakhretdinov, my evil twin, dude is a vet. Dude hasn't lost in 11 years, and he wasn't gonna lose today, man. Wasn't gonna be denied. I thought it was 1-2-1 for Renat. A lot of people didn't agree. They thought it was a robbery. They thought Leal should have won. But we can't give these guys coming in steroids, coming in last minute, late minute replacements, and get a decision victory like that, man. Like these guys are roided up. This is not a good example for the UFC. So shout out to Renat. The UFC got it right on this one.
Yeah, man. I don't know about all that. Roided up or not, he was cleared to fight. There shouldn't be any biases by the judges for that. I do think Leal should have won the decision. But hey, man, I'm not mad at it. Renat Fakhretdinov is now on a big win streak in the welterweight division. Can't wait to see what's next. They got to give him a ranked opponent. They got to give him a ranked opponent next, man. He can't just keep crushing all these unranked guys, man. You got to give him someone in the top 15. But hey, man, on to the next matchup of the night. We have in the middleweight division, Ismael Nardiev moving up in his UFC comeback against Bruno Blindado Silva. Man, I picked Bruno Silva in this one. You went with Nardiev. God damn it, Bruno Silva, you let me down, man. You didn't throw anything. You was looking like Tyron Woodley out there, man.
I'm
Weren't
surprised you.
grappling.
I'm surprised you went with Bruno Silva in this one because he's been getting knocked out. He's been getting finished. This fight did go to a unanimous decision. He didn't get finished this fight, so maybe that's a victory for him. But Ismail Nordiev on the return was looking good, man. He was looking good. He was piecing him up, doing his thing. Had crazy control, had takedowns, 13 attempts. He was active, man. He wanted that money. He wanted that win bonus, and he got it.
Yeah, man,
Great
Nardiev was
performance.
clearly more hungry. He was throwing a lot more. He definitely wanted to stay in the UFC this time. In his first UFC stint at 170, he had a competitive fight against the undefeated Sean Brady. It's just wrong place, wrong time. Now he's a little bit more seasoned. He's back in the UFC and he's in a higher weight class. He's cutting less weight and he's coming to make a serious run in the middleweight division. Do I think he has what it takes to be a champion? No, I do not. But hey, man, crazier things have happened in the UFC. Shout out to Ismail Nardiev on his comeback victory in the UFC, and I hope he can stay longer this time. On to the next matchup. We have Afghanistan's finest Farid Basharat taking on absolute tank from Brazil and Victor Hugo, man. Victor Hugo, he wasn't really throwing a lot of volume, but when he threw, man, he was throwing with vicious, murderous intentions. Basharat looked super crisp in the grappling. He looked extremely crisp on the feet. He was throwing a lot of feints. Falling for every single feint that Basharat was throwing. And you know what I like to say when someone looks super clean in the striking? He was looking like Israel Adesanya, man. Basharat was looking like Izzy, man. He was looking super clean and technical. Give me your thoughts, man. Basharat's a stud.
Man, these Basharat brothers are high level. Javid Basharat, I know he had that one surprising L on his record, but Farid Basharat is the truth. He is the better brother, in my opinion. And he's next up, man. He got it done. I called this to the T. I knew this was gonna be a dominant performance. He had the takedowns, he had the control. There's a reason why he was jumping on all those feints, man. That's why Hugo was he was terrified. He was terrified of that grappling. Once they get him down, man, these Bashat brothers, man, they're nice, bro. They get it done. Undefeated, 13-0. Let's get it, man. Let's
Yeah,
give him some real
man.
competition. Let's give him a nice little jump up. I'm excited to see what's next for Reed. Shout out to my guy.
Yeah, man. If in case you guys aren't paying attention, that's 3-0 on the picks from my man E, and I'm 2-1 so far, man. We coming correct every card, over 500 every card. But hey, man, if y'all not gonna pay attention, the numbers speak for themselves. On to the next fight. We got Kennedy Nzechwuku taking on Chris Beast Boy
That's your boy right here.
Barnett. Barnett, man, he blew out his whole Achilles, man, in the post-fight walkout. I mean, the pre-fight walkout. He jumping up and down, getting ready for the fight. His whole Achilles gone. He threw a spinning kick. And then after that, he really couldn't put any weight on it anymore. Nzechukwu did look his frame, his body looked very good at heavyweight. He didn't look fat at all. I can't really get too much from this performance because Barnett really he literally blew out his whole Achilles Kobe Bryant style right before they even fought. Good performance for Kennedy. Not much to learn. He was a huge favorite. He was supposed to win, and he was supposed to do it dominantly. But hey, man, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, Chris
And
Barnett
another
probably.
matchup, also another matchup that my man E got right.
Yeah,
4
I
and
was on
0.
fire.
Y'all need
I
to put
was
some
on fire
respect
this
on it.
card, man. I was on fire. If it wasn't for Rebecki, man, I would have been money. I would have been money up until the main event. But yeah, Kennedy Nzechukwu, man, younger fighter, hungrier, and the younger, stockier, older Chris Barnett, man. I didn't think it was gonna get it done, man. Knockout. I called this to the T. Chris Barnett might be time to retire, man. Dude's big as hell, carrying all that weight at that size. Never a good look, man. Never a good look. Fan favorite though. Hate to see him go like this, but that's the game we play. That's the game
Yeah,
we play.
man.
It's a
On
dangerous game.
to the next one. We have Stand and Bang with me a boost. Magomedov taking on the Contender Series Hulk, Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira, man, he didn't look too good in the first round. Boost Magomedov coming out looking super crisp. Bruno Ferreira is just an absolute savage, though. He's eating everything in the first round. The second round comes out landing big. And then in the third round, Abus Magomedov leans on his grappling, gets the control, and gets the victory via arm triangle, man. Finishes Bruno Ferreira. Absolutely career defining performance for Abus Magomedov because if he lost this one, man, everyone would have been calling him a fraud. And they would have said, oh, this guy has daggy privilege, all that, this, that, and the third. But he did get the job done, and he got it done impressively over the rising young Bruno Ferreira. Give me your thoughts, E.
Yeah, man. Bruno Ferreira and Abus Magomedov, man, they both come out hot in that first round. I knew this was gonna be a banger, but my guy Abus, he weathered the storm. He was looking better. Abus always comes out clean, always comes out hot, looking to finish early. And I called this to the team, man. He got the finish. He got the submission victory. Abus did his thing, man. I had a little Magomed parlay going. All the Magomedovs was gonna win tonight, so he was the first to start it off. Good dub, man. Shout out to Abus. I don't know what's next for him, man. I don't know what's next for him. He's a high level gatekeeper, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, man. You went with a boost in this. I went with Bruno Ferreira. You're 5-0 up until this point. I'm 3-2. We're both doing okay. You're doing amazing. I'm doing all right. On to the next one we have at catch weight. Mirabek Orolbai taking on Mateusz Rebecki. Man, Rebecki came out looking super hot. This was one of the craziest fights of the whole year. Orolbai's an absolute savage. He's eating everything Rebecki's throwing at him and more. And he's still pushing the pace. Orolbai showed he had a lot of heart, man. A lot of heart. Rebecki is extremely dangerous, man. He's very dangerous on the feet, and he has some decent ground game as well. Give me your thoughts on this, man. What do you think about this? This fight was crazy.
Yeah, I'm very upset Orolbai lost this one, man. My guy Mateusz Rebecki destroyed me after this. I was undefeated up until this point. But what a fight, man. What a fight. Probably fight of the year. Because this was a banger, man. These guys were going at it, man. Rebecki is a beast. Dude does not stop. Or Miktek Orolbai, he's like a zombie, man. Dude just keeps coming. And these guys were just gave us fireworks, man. This was such a great card. And shout out because of these guys, man. These guys put it all on the line. They were bloodied up. It was a great performance, man. Great performance. If this was that peak, if this was anywhere in the United States in Las Vegas, the crowd would have been going crazy. But nonetheless, man, split decision victory for Rebecki. I'm not mad at it. I know I got this one wrong, but I'm not mad at it. This was a great performance. Fight of the night, man. The real winners here were the fans because this was a show.
Yeah,
This was a
man.
great performance.
Absolute war. Could be fight of the year. I think it's definitely a fight of the year candidate. Rebecki definitely showed me he's much better than I initially thought he was. And Mirdabek Orolbai, he's not as good. He's not as technically good as he thought, but he showed he has a lot more dog than I thought. So we a lot of revelations in this fight. A lot of things that I learned about both fighters. It's one of those crazy bang stand and bang wars. It was a lot of scrambles as well. It's one of those just crazy wars where you learn a lot about each guy. Shout out to Mateus Rebecki. Shout out to Mirdabek Orolbai, man. It was a fan's delight. Very happy for that. Very happy for both fighters, man. They're still okay after a war like that. Mateus Rebecki with the upset victory. Shout out to him, man. Maybe he needs somebody in the top 15 because Orolbai is an absolute killer. But moving on, we have Jeff Neal, hands of steel, taking on Rafael dos Anjos, the former lightweight champion himself. Jeff Neal, man, this fight was done very quick. We both picked Jeff Neal in our prediction video, and it showed why, man. Jeff Neal was landing that left straight very easily. He landed as soon as he landed the left straight clean, he dropped RDA. RDA gets back up. It seemed like he threw a kick and his knee basically popped. And then Jeff Neal lands another left straight and RDA is basically out, man. He drops down and he blew out his whole Achilles, he blew out his whole ACL pretty much after getting dropped by a punch. It was bad. RDA, I think it's time to hang it up, man. That looked like some old man shit. He got punched so hard in the face that his ACL tore, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It seems like both of the 40-year-olds on this card both just got hurt crazy, man. Had bad injuries. I called Jeff Neal winning this fight, but I thought RDA was gonna bring it to him. I thought this was gonna be a bang. This could have been fight of the night, in my opinion. But Jeff Neal was looking crisp, man. Small sample size, but he was looking crisp. He had a knockdown even in that fight. Crazy performance, man. RDA sucks to see him go out like that. Did not expect to see that at all. But Jeff Neal got it done as expected. The younger fighter, I think he still got a little bit more in him. He's older as well. I think he still got a little bit more in him because he's looked crisp every fight, man. He just he's always right there, just ends up getting finished, ends up not getting the decision. So let's see, give him another test, man. I think he could make a little run, but you know, older fighters, man, they never pan out, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, Jeff Neal, I don't think he'll be a champion, but he's a high level gatekeeper in the welterweight division. He definitely could get a bag for another couple years. I don't think he's washed up. He could definitely fraud check a couple of these young guys out there. Shout outs to Jeff Neal, RDA, speedy recovery, man. And do the right thing and just retire, man. It's been a long time. You fought everybody. You really don't need to be doing this,
Yeah, straight
RDA.
BMF, man. RDA, huge props to you, man. One of my favorite fighters. Huge respect. But it might
Yeah,
be
all the
time, man. It might be
respect in the
time.
world, man, but it's time to hang. When it's time, RDA. I want to see you hang it up, or at the very least, get out the UFC, man. Stop fighting these UFC guys. But
Get
moving
that bag,
on,
man.
yeah. But moving on, we have the prelim main event in the light heavyweight division. We have Ibo Aslan taking on Rafael Cuequeira. Ibo Aslan keeps his 100% finish rate in his wins intact, gets the KO victory. He looked extremely powerful. And then in the post fight, he says, "Hey, brother, anybody I touch, I knock out." And it's looking that way. Give me your thoughts on Ibo Aslan.
Turkish power, brother. Turkish power. My man came out 100% knockout rate and showed exactly why I got the job done early in the first round. I told you guys, man, Rafael Coquera was not ready for this, man. He raw talent, very excited, but he is 33 years old, man. Ibo Aslan did his thing, came out there, got the job done, landed with power and mean intentions, man. And just once he smelled weakness, once he got him clean, once Rafael was covering up, he just bombs away, man. Bombs away, got it done, got him out of there. Very hyped for him. I'm excited to see what's next for him. I hope he's able to come to the US because it's gonna be some bangers out here for him, man. 13 and 0 up until this point. Now 14 and 0. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ibo Aslan. But moving on to the main card, we have Shara Magomedov, the Bullet, taking on Armin Petrosyan. Armin Petrosyan was looking very good in this fight. I thought he won the first round, and I thought he was winning the second round. But the Shara Bullet right at the end, man, of the second round, he throws a spinning back fist. Armin Petrosyan, blocks the back fist. And then off that first initial spinning back fist, Shara Magomedov throws the opposite hand. Another spinning back fist completely stuns Armin Petrosyan. He doesn't know where he is, and the ref calls the fight. Shah Magomedov with the dramatic TKO finish in this one. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, this was a crazy, crazy stand and bang war. Very excited for this one. My guy, Shara Bullet Magomedov. Shows why he's so exciting, man. Shows why the people love him and out there in that region, Saudi, Abu Dhabi. These guys cannot get enough of Shara Bullet Magomedov. I wish he was able to come to the United States because, man, Las Vegas, anywhere out in the United States, man, he'd be a crazy fighter. The fans will go crazy. But they love him out there, man, for good reason. Dude came out. I've never seen a knockout like that. Dude basically patented that double spinning back kick, whatever, back fist, whatever that was. Beautiful, beautiful knockout. At that point, once Armin got hit so bad he didn't even try to get up after that. He was like, I don't know what just hit me. I'm just gonna sit down here and let the ref call it because that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Shot a bullet. Magomedov did his thing, man. I love saying his name. Shot a bullet. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Shara, but yo, man, it's time to give him somebody in the top 15. We don't need him fighting these unranked guys. It's time to see where his level is really at. And to be honest, I'm not too impressed. Armin Petrosyan, he's a good fighter, but it's not like he's a championship level fighter, man. And Shara Bullet was struggling with him before the finish. But hey, man, a victory is a victory. I'm not gonna knock the man. Shout out to
He
Shara
always
Magomedov.
he always seems to get hit. Shara, he always seems to get hit, but he always seems to be able to weather the storm and come back. I'm glad he finally got a finish because he's been kind of a decision merchant lately too. So
Yeah,
I'm glad he got the
Loki.
finish.
Low key, he needed that finish, man. He was talking about how he's a next gen striker and he's gonna take over. But he was getting a decision. He's getting a lot of unanimous decisions over a bunch of cans, man. It's time to get a finish, and he got it. He delivered. Can't wait to see him against someone in the top 15, hopefully in his next fight.
Mm-mm.
But
The
moving
the slow
on.
roll continues, man. The slow roll continues.
Yeah, they
Trust me.
got to stop protecting him, man. No more slow roll, man. We got to start fast rolling them. Need some ranked opponents. But moving on to the featherweight division, we have the undefeated Lerone Murphy taking on 50K Dan Ige. Dan Ige
Banger.
looked phenomenal tonight, man, in that first round. He was looking very good. He's looking in crazy shape. He was pushing a crazy pace. He was pressing forward. He was landing heavy strikes. He was going for the takedowns. He was going for submissions. Dan Ige looked much improved, but man, he came out too hot. And then in round two, he started to fade a little bit, and Lerone Murphy picked up his pace, started getting a rhythm, and he was landing a lot of crisp strikes on Dan Ige in the second round. 1-1 going into the third. Danny Ige has the control, but Lerone Murphy's able to get out of it. And then he gets another takedown on Danny Ige, and he immediately goes for the ground and pound. Both fighters in round three had their own takedowns. They had their own control time, but the difference was Lerone Murphy with the damage with the ground and pound. Edged him out that 2-1 victory. But give me your thoughts on it.
Man, I felt for Dan Ige. He knocked him down in that first round, but ended the round a bloody mess. Did not look good for him optics wise. And I knew that was probably the beginning of the end after that, because after that, Lerone, once he weathered that storm, once he was able to feel that knockdown, get back up and continue the fight, he was able to take over for the next two rounds. Although the third round was very, very, very close. Could have went either way, depending how you scored it. That second round was definitely Lerone Murphy. I had it 1-1 going to the third. And it was a very close fight. Exciting, man. Dan Ige, I know his record right now is 18-9, but dude fights like a champion, man. He comes out to bang, knocks him down. I'm not sure if that was the first knockdown in Lerone Murphy's career.
It was.
It was, right? Bro, Dan Ige is that dude, bro. He just has cardio issues, man. He can't continue at that same pace that he does in that first round like he does. Like he does in the first round in the next two rounds. He can't continue that pace for some reason. I hope he's able I wish he could work on that somehow, but dude is an older fighter. I am a big fan, but Lerone Murphy, man, just way too talented. Shout out to Zubair Tukhugov for pushing this guy to a draw. That was the only one that came close. Otherwise, man, Lerone Murphy, I think he's ready. I think he's ready
He's ready
for
for
a ranked
anybody.
for a ranked opponent. Yes,
It's
sir.
now or it's now or never, man. He's ready for the top guys. Give him the top guys. Lerone Murphy title run 2025, man. You heard it here first. He's gonna be the guy to dethrone Toro. But hey, man, that's another video for another time. Moving on to the light heavyweight division, we have the people's champion, Magomed Ankalaev, man, the guy who they'll never give a title shot to. He pieced up Alexander Rakic. Got the 29-28 decision. But what did you think about Rakic's corner at the end of round two? They were telling him, hey, man, you're up 2 rounds to nothing, even though Magomed, it was probably a 1-1 fight, or Magomed was up 2-0, if anything. But hit Rakic's corner telling him he's up 2-0. And then in round three, he's absolutely coasting. He's not engaging in a fight that was 1-1. on the judges' scorecards. All three judges' scores had a 1-1 in that third round, and Rakic is coasting, thinking all he needs to do is avoid the strikes, and he'll get the decision. And that's what he did. And Magomed ends up getting the decision, and Rakic is just left there stunned. Don't leave it to the judges, kids. Give me your thoughts on that.
Never leave it to the judges, man. Or your corner. Sometimes your corner will lead you astray, man. They feel like you have a comfortable lead, 1-2, but the
Straight up
corner is
lied to
looking at
that
it.
man. Straight up
They
lied to
don't
that
lie to that
man.
man. If you're gonna lie to him, you gotta tell him he's down 0-2. You gotta tell him to go for that finish. You gotta tell him to be hungry. You can't tell him to take the foot off the gas. That's inexcusable in a championship contending fight
And it, and,
against.
and it made him lose. It was 1-1 on all the cards.
He was throwing them kicks. That high kick was landing beautifully for Rakic. He was getting those low kicks that Magomed Ankalaev hates. But Magomed did his thing, man. He had that octagon control. He was pressing him that whole fight in his face, throwing and landing too. He was throwing some bombs out there. I wanted Magomed Ankalaev to get a finish. He needed that finish to basically guarantee himself a title fight. He didn't get it done. So at this point, it could have been a robbable. It was a very robbable fight. They could have went to Rakic. They could have done him dirty. But I think Magomed Ankalaev has to be next for Alex Pereira, man. What else does man got to do? What else does man got to do?
Yeah, man, I definitely agree he should be next for Alex Pereira, but honestly, my belief in him in that fight has waned. Before, I thought Magomed Ankalaev, if he fought Alex Pereira, he'd be able to get the job done. But the man just thinks he's a K1 kickboxer. This man, Magomed Ankalaev, doesn't think his name is Magomed. He thinks his name is something else. He
He thinks
thinks he's not from
Brazilian.
Dagestan. He just wants to be a glory kickboxer, man. And you're not that. He's a good striker. Don't
His
get me
stand up
wrong.
is nice. Stand up is
He's a
nice for a big
very
dude.
good striker, but he's not Alex Pereira, man. He's gonna fight Alex Pereira next. He's gonna stand with him, and he's gonna get knocked out, man.
You better remember where he came from.
The only way he beats Alex Perez is if he's gonna wrestle, and we saw today against Rakic, he didn't even shoot one takedown. Magomed Ankalaev, we all know, is a very capable wrestler. He took down Polish Power, controlled him for 3 rounds, absolutely dominated Polish Power on the ground. And Polish Power is one of the best grapplers in the light heavyweight division. So Magomed Ankalaev is definitely in the light heavyweight division, one of the better grapplers. He just doesn't want to use it. So he won this fight. He's gonna fight for the title, but I really don't think he's gonna do anything now, Alex Pereira. But hey, man, shout out
Is
to
it
you,
him?
Magomed. You finally got your title shot.
Is it him that doesn't want to use it, or is the UFC telling him that he needs to be more exciting and to put on a better
Yo, hey
performance?
man, we
You know
need
what
to
I'm
do a
saying?
video
Like,
on that.
you know what I'm saying? Well, wait, what is it? What is it? What's the truth?
Because Magomed has been saying, man, the UFC's telling him not to wrestle. You need exciting performances. And ever since this whole debacle about you need exciting performances and stop wrestling, the man's not wrestling.
They
And they
did this.
still
They said the
and they
same thing
still
to
made him fight three,
Makayev.
4 fights before getting the title shot, man. It's crazy. He's listening to every unreasonable demand that the UFC has for him, and he's not getting any type of reward for it. But it is what it is. Hopefully, he gets the title shot now. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening. We have Robert the Reaper Whittaker taking on Hamzat Chimaev. Absolutely crazy performance from Boers, man. He takes down Robert Whittaker, completely dominates him on the mat, has the back control. Robert Whittaker's trying to get out of it. He scrambles up to his feet. Hamzat takes him back down, gets his back control again, gets that rear naked choke. It was more of a neck crank. Robert Whittaker taps immediately. His teeth are sideways. His jaw is broken. His
That
pride
crank
is
was
shattered. And
ridiculous.
Hamzat Chimaev is still undefeated. Give me your thoughts.
Straight vice grip on that choke, man. Dude got it, locked it in, broke the man's jaw. Unbelievable strength. Hamza Chimaev, after 2 years, comes back and dominates Robert Whittaker, a former champion. You know, now the man's beating every current champion at the time when he came into the UFC. Robert Whittaker was the champion when he came into the UFC. He beat him. Kamaru Usman was a champion at 170 when he came into the UFC. He beat him. What is next for Hamza Chimaev, man? The dude came out and was looking great. I wanted him to go 5 rounds. I wanted him to prove to the fans that he improved his cardio, that he's better now. 30 years old. He's in the prime of his youth. But got it done quick, man. Robert Whittaker is no slouch. Nobody has ever done this to Robert Whittaker. Even DDP didn't even do this to Robert Whittaker, and he dominated him. He dominated him. But shout out to Boers, man. Give him the title. Stop hiding DDP from him. He's next.
Yeah, man, absolutely stunning performance. Hamza Chimaev is now the 185-pound number one contender. If Sean Strickland doesn't fight DDP very soon, then I think he's gonna get passed up for Hamza Chimaev. And I think none of these guys at 185 have an answer for this level of grappling, man. Every time he fights at 185, well, I mean, this is only his second fight, but both times he's fought at 185, Both fighters, high level fighters, all time great fighters in Robert Whittaker and Kamaru Usman looked completely lost. They looked like they were just a complete level below Hamza Chimaev in the grappling. They didn't even know where to start to defend themselves in the first round. But Hamza Chimaev, he doesn't have the greatest gas tank. But you got to get out that first round, man. He's just so dominant in that first round that none of these guys are able to get out of that first round. Excited to see what's next. I do think we have a new champion in the middleweight division once Hamza Chimaev gets his title shot. But hey, man, we're moving on to much sadder things. Main event in Abu Dhabi. Our boy Max Holloway gets knocked out for the first time. He gets dropped for the first time. Whole bunch of first. Ilia Topuria popping mad cherries for our boy Max Holloway. Unfortunately, Ilia Topuria talked all that shit and he cashed it in, man. I'm so upset right now, man. He was like, oh, he's not gonna. He said I'm gonna point to the middle octagon at the start of the fight, and he's not gonna engage. He was right about that. He said I'm gonna knock this guy out. I'm gonna be the first one to drop him and knock him out. He did both of those things. He said I'm the new generation of the UFC. I'm the best boxer in the UFC. He was outboxing Max Holloway. I mean, yo, this fight just went left. I'm completely shattered, man. I'm so sad. My whole Saturday's ruined. Give me your thoughts, E.
Yeah, man. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I went 10-2 this card, but that last fight broke me, man. I don't care about none of that. Max Holloway. I knew I had a feeling he was gonna lose. If I was a betting man, I would have went with ILLYA. But Max is one of my favorite fighters, and to see him go out like that is heartbreaking, man. I can't even put into words how upset I am. Max Holloway, dude is a dog. He was making a great run. I wish he stayed at maybe 155. Maybe that's what's next for him. Because at 145, I don't know if anything is even worth it anymore. I don't know how many killers you got to go through. He already went through Arnold Allen. He went through the Yair Rodriguez. He doesn't need to
Nah,
do any of that no
145
more.
is done, bro. 140.
145 has to be done. I think he has to move to 155
Who is he
because
gonna fight? Who would he fight?
yeah, these
Arnold Allen, he
Ilya,
beat him.
yeah, like I was
Yair
saying,
Rodriguez, he beat him.
mm-hmm,
Volkanovski lost to him. Topuria lost to him. You know, unless you want
those are
him
the
to fight
top
Diego
two.
Lopez, do
The
you
only
really want to
people
kill a contender in Diego Lopez with Max Holloway?
they don't.
Just move
Diego
Max
Lopez
Holloway up.
next for the title. He has to be next for the title, in my opinion. After Volk, Volk has to run it back now. The only chance we have of Ilya losing is Volk. If
Save
not,
the Soul Society, Volk, man. We're in a tough time, man. Volkanovski got to come in and save us. But unfortunately, man, I think Volk is gonna get knocked out too.
again,
I think
they go
so, man.
Spain get him knocked out again. I hope not, man.
This
I
dude
hope not.
Ilya, man, he's throwing with crazy power, man. We haven't seen power like this in the featherweight division since Conor McGregor. He's
Dude has
touching these
crazy
dudes and they're
motion.
going out.
Dude has crazy motion. Has so many cameras behind him at all times. They love him out there in Spain. Sergio Ramos, one of the biggest superstars in football, in soccer. Dude is following him around. He's part of his posse. Like Spain has one, man. Spain has a superstar now. I'm
Yeah, man,
excited
but
to
I
see
don't
what's
care,
next
man.
for
I'm
him.
still salty, man. Ilya Taporia, he's coming through with that private school energy. He's coming through with that mommy daddy money. And
But
I
he is
hate this kid,
respectful.
man. I can't believe he fucking talked all that shit about Volk and Max
Listen,
Holloway and
listen.
knocked them both out. I'm so upset about it. I'll never get over it. And I'm gonna pray for his downfall. I'm gonna just put that out there. I'm put it on the internet. I'm praying for this man's downfall. I don't like Ilia Topuria, Diego Lopez, Volkanovski, whoever it is. Y'all gotta fucking stop this
Listen,
shit.
listen. Don't make us have to call Islam, man. Don't make us have to call Islam.
Put him Ankalaev, brother. Straight the fuck up,
We're
though. I'm
gonna have to
tired
call
of it.
Big Bro. We're gonna have to call Big Bro up from a division again. I don't think Islam will come back down to 145 or coming to fight another 145er again after fighting Volk like that.
He gonna
Like
have to
going
fight
pound for pound.
Topuria.
He might have
He's
to.
making
Might
too
have
much
to.
noise.
He knocking motherfuckers out. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. But hey, shout out to Topuria. Only thing you doing by winning like this is Putin Makachev, brother. Putin Makachev. That's what's gonna happen. If you gonna keep stopping these dudes, knocking them out like this, you gonna end up going one on one with Islam Makachev, and you don't want those problems. And I'm praying on your downfall. But that's full guard MMA. I'm
Listen,
on copium right now.
and
We out of here.
before we leave, Ilya APTORO. Top Toro.
Ba 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 ba
We
ba
out.
ba. Peace.